Hey everybody, it's Selena Roan. I'm the founder of Fear Paranormal. I'm also on Fear the Freak, which was just about 2 hours ago. This show is new to PEN, and I'm really proud and honored to be part of the PEN network. The show is kind of a little wide range of close to death, like anything with near-death experiences, maybe like what happened to me. I had to take care of my best friend on his last month of his life, things like that, watching death happen, or even paranormally, anything that you've dealt with near-death experience or the other side. Tonight's guest I have is a friend of mine from back in high school, so I'm not going to age either one of us. Let's just say it's been a long time since I've seen her, and she's been through an awful lot, and I was like, wow, I think you take the cake on the number of near-death experiences or crazy things that have happened in your life. And her name is Heather Deering Salberg, and I would like to welcome her to the show. How you doing tonight, Heather?
I'm hanging in there.
Hanging in there. I know you're having a little rough night, and I'm praying for your dog. I'm sorry to hear that, and I hate that it's tonight. But I was talking with you in private messages, and man, I tell you, you've had a really rough time. So why don't you tell us about the first near-death experience that you had back in, what was it, 97?
Okay, that would be when I severed my arm.
Yeah, that doesn't sound pleasant.
Yeah. It was a bad situation. I was arguing with my husband pretty bad, and I let temper get me. I went through a window. He shut the window as I tried to be mean and hit him. And next thing I knew, I had a 1/16 of an inch from my main artery in my right arm, completely severed and lost my median nerve. I sat there in the emergency room for an hour and a half, bleeding and holding that with glass and shards all in there, and just holding it as much as I could with like a tourniquet and hoping I didn't bleed out.
Wow.
1/16 of an inch. It was very scary.
Wow, that's crazy. And then you had a couple of other ones. Why don't you tell us about those? I know you had like another one in 02 and then another one in 06. Your even numbers are not good for you in the years. I'm telling you. The 97 one was off, but then everything else was like every couple of years you were having some difficult experiences.
Yeah, it was either a crazy situation or close to something really bad. In 2002, I was working in Ovilla, Texas, and I was helping the guys install 8-inch water pipe. And one of the guys was messing around using the boom of the backhoe bucket to push himself up over a pile of rock and slipped with the controls and
Uh-oh.
See if it comes back. We might not have lost her. Maybe we did.
Front row. Well, to finish that, I think we might have lost her. I don't know.
Yeah,
She's in Oregon, so yeah, we'll get her back. But anyway, I believe the story goes that she was hit in the back with the backhoe boom. This girl has had a rough time of it since I think we went to school together like 20 some odd years ago. We'll get her back here on the line here in a minute. She's all new to Skype too, so we have to be patient with her. But while we're sitting here, you need to check out Marshall Haunted Holidays and get your tickets now. Got some awesome vendors out there. The Ghost Hunter store is going to be there. I'm trying to kill time, Yeti.
Oh, I know. Metaluna will be there.
Yep.
We're doing
Art will be there. Penn will be there.
We're also doing the carnival for Cohen.
Oh, really? Carnival for Cohen. I can't believe he's already up to 2 pounds. For some of you who don't know, our dear friend Shonda has had a baby that's premature. He's Cohen the Brave. He was born at 23 weeks old, and he's been fighting so hard that, didn't you nickname him our little Jedi?
Yeah, that's what Shonda nicknamed him.
Oh, Shonda nicknamed him that. Okay, well, we always refer to him, even my son, as Cohen the Brave. So that little dude is a fighter. That's all I know. And he is so awesome to be up to. I think it's, what, two something pounds now?
Yep, he's getting there.
Awesome. Well, they have T-shirts for Team Cohen that if you can... I guess the link is somewhere on you guys' page, right? For the T-shirts, or how do they get those?
The T-shirts, we'd have to get in touch with Shonda. I don't, right offhand, I don't know if there is a link for the T-shirts. This is all coming pretty much straight to from Shonda.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh, there you are. Hello. That's okay. I ad-libbed and I filled in. It's all good.
We live in the country. We just got got rid of the dial-up about 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. I can't see her. I can't see her yet, Yeti.
Yeah, she's gonna have to start her camera.
Okay. Ah, there she is. There she's coming.
I am learning.
All right, there you go. I told them that you were new to all this, so just bear with you. But I kind of tried to finish your story a little bit. And you were at where we lost you. Was it they hit you in the back with the boom of the backhoe? Is that right?
The bucket of it, yeah.
The bucket of it. Okay.
The thing that kept me from getting hurt severely was the fact that there was mud caked in the rock teeth of the bucket. They have these big teeth to break up the rock.
Right. Oh,
so
yeah.
Having all that mud cushion the blow, so I wasn't killed. It was up my left shoulder and my neck was all kind of crooked.
Jesus. Wow. Yeah. I'm telling you what, man, you're like one of those, what do you call them, robos. You just get right back up and keep going, huh?
Well, my mom's name is Kat, but she gave me her 9 lives.
Is that what she says, huh? It sounds like it.
I tell her that.
So you had another one in 06, and what was that one about?
Oh, that would be a shocking tubal pregnancy that ruptured and kept me, I didn't realize it for about 3 weeks. I was constantly in pain and bleeding and hemorrhaging for 3 weeks. Wow. When I went to Parkway, they wouldn't treat me after 8 hours. So then I went home, went to bed, and the next morning I woke up went to the hospital and they had to do surgery immediately.
Wow. So you could have pretty much bled to death at that point.
She told me I should never have gone home. I was that close.
Wow. Well, you did have another one in '08, and what was that one about?
That was another tubal pregnancy on the other side.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
I'm telling you
That one I carried for 3 months after they thought that they had terminated the pregnancy.
Oh, they thought they terminated it, and you still.
Yeah, they gave me an abortion shot to kill the live fetus in my tube, and 3 months later, I had to have it removed surgically. Yeah,
Man, and then the big one came in 2011, and we jumped. At least you waited one more year to have another tragedy or another tragic event happen. And in 2011, what happened at a barbecue that you were trying to have?
Oh, in 2008 was my car accident also.
Oh yeah, 2000. Oh, you had two things in 2008. My bad. Go ahead and tell us about that one.
We moved into this house, and not 2 weeks later, we were blocked down the road coming home, and a man was in my lane on a sharp 15-mile-an-hour curve. I was on the inside. I saw him, so I stopped as far over in the ditch as I could. And his F-350 diesel dually crew cab hit my little Durango in the front headlight and fender,
Wow.
break the front wheel at the center part of his axle, and bringing him back around to the back end of my truck.
Wow.
That one, I was taken on a stretcher and a back brace.
And you
Therefore, 3 neck surgeries I've had.
and headaches and neck pain and back pain and everything that comes along with that, right?
Between the backhoe and the car accident, I have spinal damage from C1 all the way down to S1, which is from the top all the way to the bottom. I've had 3 neck surgeries and a lower back surgery in the last 2 years.
Holy cow. And I thought I had back issues.
And the biggest one was 2011 on my son's 16th birthday.
Wow.
We had a band and a big barbecue going, and the 600-pound barbecue grill, I smelled a big bunch of propane, looked to see through the side hole, and it ignited in my face. I was on fire from my waist up. And I didn't want to go with the hospital, or to the hospital with the paramedics, but I did. And when I got there, they almost couldn't induce me into a coma. Soon enough, they barely got the tube down my throat. I had inhaled the flames.
Oh my God.
I had 1st through 3rd degree burns in my lungs and esophagus and on my body from the waist up.
Wow.
Dead.
I mean, you were really trying to light that. You were really trying to give that birthday a big old spark, weren't you?
Yeah.
He won't forget that 16th, will he?
He's over here going, you bet, you bet.
Now, you know, when we grew up in Lancaster, and there was nothing to do in that town but party and out in the country somewhere do a bonfire.
That's the house.
But never would I have suspected that somebody's mom would actually be the center of the bonfire. And I can't imagine. I can't imagine what he was, feeling. I mean, he probably was scared out of his mind. And I mean,
Yeah.
you said you were joking and said that you came home looking like what was it, from Tales of the Crypt or something like that? Or
Crypt Keeper's daughter. Actually, I'm not joking. If you looked at my Facebook pictures, you would have saw those. I was charred and my hair was completely burnt off on the right side. My earring was kind of burnt onto my ear. They had a hard time getting that one out. But they
Wow.
had to drug induce me into a coma and told my husband I had a 5% chance of living.
And you just keep coming back. You just keep fighting. And there's something that, somebody's watching over you. And I think we kind of, hit on that a little bit when we talked earlier. We had a lot of tragedy around us too in school.
Yes.
I mean, they think that one or two a year is something big, in a school, but unfortunately for the people of Lancaster High School, for about 4 years there, we went through quite a bit of death and funerals and all kinds of different things. And Heather and I actually have a mutual friend we had a mutual friend that we loved very much. And, we talked about him being your guardian angel. And,
Oh, yeah.
you said that you had no doubt that Chris Bloom, which was an amazing human being, was your guardian angel. And why don't you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Chris and how you feel that maybe he is your guardian angel so much?
Well, we were always close. I was close with his whole family. I'm so close with his family. Linda's my mom.
Yeah.
But Chris, he was like my best friend, and that I never told him that, he was that cool, but I thought of him that way. Kids stereotype. And Chris, he, at the time when I met him in high school, he had the acne and going through all the changes, and kids were mean to him. They were mean to him. When he and I hung out, just like you, we hung out with anybody. We didn't care what they looked like or who they were. As long as they were cool people, nice people, and had a heart, they were our friends.
Right.
And Chris was always there. My first boyfriend was his brother's best friend.
Oh, my. Mike
That's
or
right.
Jason? Jason, right?
Mike was Chris
Oh,
Wright's best friend.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
And Jason, I didn't know Jason that well.
He was too little.
He
was too little
was.
hanging, with us, really.
But what hurt me was that I was gone. I took off with my mom, with some friends, and my mom, I couldn't get a hold of her, so I was out of town for a while, a couple of weeks.
Right.
The day I came back and went straight to the church where the funeral was being held. Because I was told on my way into town that it had happened.
Oh, my God. It was a shock, for sure. I mean, just a little bit about Chris. He was an amazing person. He had a great soul. He loved track. He loved to run. He was we hacky sacked all the time. He was just a good soul. And when you try to give him a ride to the party or something, he'd go, "Nah, it's cool. I'll run. I'll see y'all there." Running was his life. And that was his escape. That was his, complete release from all that was troubling him, which really a whole lot didn't get to Chris. He was more of that roll off your back type guy and it'll all be okay. It'll all work out. Well, there was a hunting accident. Truth will never be known about how that exactly happened or if anyone was actually to blame or if it was an accident. But it was really a freak accident if it was. And the shotgun was propped up in the back of the truck. They were deer hunting. It was him and 3 or 4 other guys. The gun was propped up in the back of the truck and somehow it fell down and discharged and blew Chris's inner left leg off and some of his
Way too close for comfort.
yeah, and his other things, and he laid there and pretty much bled to death. I illegally gave blood. I'm sorry to admit it, I'm not, but I did go to a couple of different places each day to give blood because he was going through it pretty rapidly. But the gangrene is what got him, and they ended up having to amputate his leg. And I guarantee this is my thoughts, but my opinion is, like everybody's got one. But I think when he looked up and he saw the reflection in the TV monitor and saw that he didn't have a leg anymore, I think that fighting side of him was crushed. And I think he gave up. I mean, he was like, that was his whole, that was who Chris was, pretty much. Besides
Yeah.
being just a cool, hacky sacking, hip dude that was really just a sweet guy. And if you ever needed a great hug or a smile to light your day, you know, that would be Chris. And so losing him was pretty immense. I had Al Franklin on when I was on the talking side of the
Right.
networks, and you know, he also saved Al's life in Afghanistan and Iraq. And it was a pretty interesting story. But Chris has touched quite a few lives. It's kind of strange that not only did he touch Al's, and he saved pretty much Al from maybe perishing in the war. At least he thinks that Chris is his guardian angel as well. So it was really interesting that you're adamant about that. I mean, and that's how good of a guy Chris was, that he's guardian angel to a couple of folks.
Well, yeah, and he's the kind of guy that, you know, even if you never were able to tell him how much you cared or how much you loved him, he knew.
Yeah, he
And he
knew.
was always there. He always had your back. When you needed somebody to talk to, he always gave you not one ear, but both.
Yeah, full attention. It wasn't like my poor self trying to talk to somebody in my ADD, and I'm like all into it, and then I'm like, squirrel. You know, I can't help that. I'm bad.
So stop. My ADHD one over here feeling it.
But yeah, I definitely I wanted to get your take on any experiences that you could have had with any of
Everybody else is telling me what happened in my coma. I don't know. I had an allergic reaction to the medication, is what the hospital says. I guess, I mean, I've lost 6 days. I have no clue any part of it.
And it may be for the best, you know.
Yeah, because I guess I called my mother-in-law horrible things and tried to step in front of the kids and.
So that subconscious came roaring out then, huh?
Actually, they said that it wasn't subconscious. They said it was, there's no way I had a subconscious, is what they're trying to say.
Oh, so that's just your feelings busting out there then.
Now, they said she has no clue what she's saying. She's having an allergic reaction.
Well, that's good then.
If that's the
That's safe.
truth, I'm glad I'm saved there.
Because, you know, once you make mama mad, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
Well, fortunately, she bounces back. She relies on me way too much.
Well, I can't believe how many times that you've been able to bounce back. So it's obviously that you've got more than just Chris on your side. You've got to have a couple of more guardian angels, because if not, man, you've been keeping Chris on his toes for quite a few years.
Yeah, we have my grandmothers, both of my grandmothers and my grandfather. But I also firmly believe in another young man that we lost a few years ago. He was, my husband went to school with his dad up here, and he was really, really awesome with everybody up here. And he's another bonfire king. So
Oh, no.
he tends the bonfire in the sky for all of us here in Douglas County, Oregon. He's Woody was an awesome kid, and so I think he looked for all of us too.
Yeah, it's you know, I totally believe in guardian angels, because back in the day, I don't know if you heard about the wreck that me and John Alva and Richard Womack had. You were probably already gone. Or you did. I don't know.
Well, I
But
heard about John Alva having a wreck with you.
Yeah, it was bad. We hit a parked taxi cab doing about 65 miles an hour with no seatbelts on. And John almost died.
Oh,
You okay?
I was just informed that my dog just passed away.
Oh, no. Would you like me to? I'm going to let you go, okay?
That's my other guardian angel.
I'm going to go ahead and cut you loose, okay? Because I know that you need to go deal with that, and I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry to cut you guys. I'm really
Not a
sorry.
problem. My prayers are with you, girl, and I'm sorry this happened, and we'll have to reschedule you. Okay, you go ahead and deal with that.
Well, all my love to you, and thank you for having me.
You're
We'll
welcome.
talk again soon.
Go take care of that.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Sorry to cut you short, Eric.
No problem. I'll talk to you soon. All right, Eric, that's cool. I really feel horrible for her. Heather, our prayers are with you. I'm going to go ahead and just talk about history, haunts, and legends, and some of the things that we're working on with Fear. Sorry that the guest had to take care of that, but I completely understand. And like I said, I can't imagine trying to finish a show with with someone that's distraught like that. So anyway, November 2nd, I am a affiliate of the Ghost Hunter store, and we have a booth at History, Haunts, and Legends in Jefferson. It's going to be a really amazing event. Paranologies will also be there. Dakota Lawrence will be there. We have tons of awesome speakers at that event. So you need to just look us up for the Ghost Hunter store, and we can get you hooked up with any kind of equipment you want. We also have Marshall, which is Haunted Holidays, which is going to be on November 9th. And Penn and Art have gotten together and put this amazing event together. And we're going to, where are we exactly going to be investigating? Do we know, or do we want to say? Or
What, in Jefferson?
Yeah, no, in Marshall.
Oh, in Marshall. Yeah. There's two locations. Neither one have been formally investigated ever, to our knowledge. One is is the oldest building. It was built in 1886.
Yes.
And the building has served many purposes. It's been a library. I think it was even part of the courthouse at one point in time, maybe, when it's early construction. But its last major function, what it has been for the last 40 or 50 years, is Chamber of Commerce. And if anybody knows anything about Marshall, they've had business. At one point in time, Marshall was a huge business center. So this is a large building. This is like 2,000 square feet, both floors. So it's a large open kind of building, and it's never been investigated. But if you think about all the different people that have been in, sat in, had arguments in, just the energy that can be in the building is tremendous. The other location is a 3,500 square foot, 3 or 4 stories counting the basement mansion,
Plus the guest house.
mansion house plus a guest house.
Wow.
This is just an old-fashioned. I got more money than you got, and I'm going to show it to you in my house kind of thing is how it started. I think huge porch. It sits on an acre of land in downtown Marshall. That's another thing that's a giveaway. Just hardwood floors, hardwood paneling. It's a beautiful, beautiful house, and it's been restored. It's been in the same family for since it was built. There's 2 names that are on and I don't have it in front of me, but there are 2 names that are on the actual house, and that's only because one of the sisters that owned it, or one of the kids that owned it, daughters from the original family that owned it, married.
Wow.
So they had to add the name. So there's like 7 or 8 huge trees on this property, and what the original family did, and it was built in 1901. Every time they had a child, they planted a tree. So those 7 trees are for the children, and they're huge. I mean, you're talking like an oak that's 70 or 80 or 90 foot tall. There's a maple tree that's at least that big or bigger. I mean, these are huge trees. Anyway, that's the second property.
That's the one I'm going to. I think Freak's going to the other one.
Yeah. They're both.
So we can both kind of get the experiences from both spots.
Sure. Sure.
Crystal will be with me then.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is it's not that one's better than the other. One is physically larger, but like I said, neither one of these have ever been investigated before, so we don't know. You know, you don't know what you're going to find. And the other important thing I have to remind people about that event is go buy your VIP ticket now, because we are limiting. including all the vendors that want to go and all the people that buy VIP tickets online. In fact, I have to add that up and change the number tomorrow on the website. We are only going to have 40 people total at these investigations. So you're talking 20 at one and 20 at the other.
Wow.
Because
Okay.
we want to make
Well,
sure.
I mean, I got Tammy's. Tammy got her VIP, so we're set for her.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to get their tickets for those. Both those events are going to be extremely amazing because both of the cities, Jefferson and Marshall, they both have so much history that there's going to be activity in those places. I guarantee it. I just can't wait to be one of the first investigators in there. That's too much fun for me.
Yeah.
I hate going into a place that's already has preconceptions of apparitions and footsteps and blah blah blah. You know, I like to go into a place where I don't even know what's going to happen. You know.
Well, plus even when you try your best to not read anything about it, I think everybody always ends up reading a little bit about it. So you almost always walk in there with some preconceived notions of what you're going to run into, what you're going to find.
Right.
With these two, you can't do it. I mean, you could go do some research on the buildings, and you might learn some names of people that either used to work in there or whatever, or live there, or major members of the Chamber of Commerce or whatever. But that's about it.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that house, you could go, I guess if you were real adventurous, you could go to the property records there and go look all that kind of stuff up. You're still not going to know what you're going to run into that night. Nobody knows.
Yeah. When we do I've never been to the Jefferson deal, and my grandfather, weird enough, before he passed away, he worked for Southwestern Bell for like ever. And it was in Marshall. They live in my grandparents actually lived in Hallsville. Mm-hmm. And so I would spend my summers in Hallsville, but you could go downtown Marshall with my pawpaw and you could almost feel, the history of the place driving down the street. And it's pretty much the age of everything. It's got so much kind of attached to the buildings because of how, like you said, how many people, how many different walks of life have been in there, what has happened there. You just never know. And, that's like when we went up to Galena with the Shadows of 66 to that bordello. They were telling us that we were at the wrong spot, that wasn't the bordello, that, murders didn't occur there, blah, 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 blah. And we went and looked up, the history of it and did some research ourselves. And it's funny how the records of the land pretty much say that it was a bordello, that it was used as a actual boarding house / bordello. And the information that you get is very limited when you're looking up history. But with some places like in Galena, that was like full of information. Some were myths, some were legends, and you have to cut through all that. But with Marshall, it's like with yours, it would probably be very hard to find any, like you said, any kind of paranormal claims because no one's ever been in there to do that before. I wonder if we asked the family that lives in there over the years, have they ever encountered anything paranormal? They would probably answer yes.
Well, the daughter, one of the last the daughters of the family is actually moved into a smaller home. She just simply couldn't afford to take care of the big property, so
it's too much for her
because of her age. So she's moved into a smaller home there in Marshall and still lives there. But no one lives in either location. There is no. You're not going to have to worry about desks at the chamber. It's an empty building. Same thing with this house. It's an empty building.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we don't have,
excites me.
other than people falling downstairs, that's really the only other liability, but that's why everybody has to be 18 that goes inside.
Right.
But like I said, they're empty buildings, It's gonna be a good night. And especially the people with the VIP, there's gonna be a cemetery walk at dusk. Oh, the VIPs it is.
Oh, that's cool. That's an added that I've never heard of before at dusk.
Yeah, it's supposed to be held at dusk. So people that want to take pictures or whatever, I mean, you can get that super duper creepy vibe going on there.
So okay, so I was talking to you. There's a really interesting man that I met at Phantom Fest because I just got back from Phantom Fest. I met some really awesome people there, some really crazy people. People that you would never expect because I met Leatherface. You expect Leatherface to be this big old scary dude, and he was just a big old teddy bear. Lizard Man was pretty interesting, and meeting all those people and staying in the Minger. You've heard reports about the Minger and the reported activities. Well, while I was there, I had a couple of experiences of my own, which pretty much shocked me because I always have it happen to my friend next to me, but I don't ever get the heavy feeling in my chest and like somebody sitting on my shoulders, and then I was freezing to death, and it wouldn't get off me. I had that experience at Phantom Fest, and then they had an investigation at the the Institute of Texan Cultures or whatever that UT Austin pretty much runs. I was there and blessed enough to be there anyway because that place is amazing. But we had full run of the place, and I got to investigate with my dear friend Chip Coffey and Deborah Wilson from Mad TV. That there was a sharecropper's cabin there on display that they actually is an actual sharecropper's cabin that they brought in to the museum. And so Deborah sat on that porch and she started singing Amazing Grace, and I didn't even know where. Me and Chip and his assistant Greta were off looking at something else, I think St. Michael's or something in the Catholic area, and we heard Amazing Grace, and it was just the sweetest. I didn't even know she could sing. I just knew she was crazy fun and very energetic, but I had no idea she had pipes like that.
Right.
And when she started singing Amazing Grace and Chip got the name of the sharecropper or the slave, I guess would be more like it. And when she started singing, things just started going crazy. Brad and one other person witnessed a full-bodied apparition walk in the back of the sharecropper's cabin and up the stairs and then disappeared. Flashlights, periscopes, everything going crazy. And I was just mesmerized by Deborah's investigative skills. I didn't even know that she, really got into that, but the woman has so much energy and it's so high and she's such a good soul. It was just drawing stuff to her. That was a pretty amazing investigation. I wish it would have lasted longer. Because I never can get enough when there's activity like that. It's like I'm such an adrenaline junkie when it comes to that's my adrenaline. Mm-hmm. And I just couldn't get enough. But then the next night I set up one, or got Freak on one for her birthday, and it was they went to the Texas Ranger Museum. And she said they didn't have as much activity, and I said it was probably the people you were with and the energy that they were exuding, because Deborah was singing Amazing Grace, and then she sang some other song from back when there were slaves and stuff, and she was pretty much connecting with that slave and saying, I come from you, I'm proud to be, you made it to where I can walk down the street and hold my head up and be proud of who I am, and I thank you for that. And she was honoring him, and man, it was amazing, the activity that we were getting. I mean, I don't even think I went to any other floors to even investigate, so I know I have to go back to that place. But sometimes when you have these like conferences and you go to some of these places, they're a letdown. But I can safely say that Phantom Fest, they did a pretty good job on the Friday night investigation for the VIPs.
Yeah, well, the conventions and a meet and greet is what it is. A meet and greet is a meet and greet. Nobody walks in with great big huge expectations.
Right.
Sometimes the general public, people that don't paranormally investigate or they're just thrill seekers, if they don't walk in and get possessed by a devil, they're disappointed.
Right.
But
See-
if you walk into the conventions where it's more about the people and the networking, if you walk in with a good attitude, you're going to have a good time. You walk in
Oh, yeah.
thinking, well, this is going to be kind of boring, and that's exactly what's going to happen for you. So, I'm not surprised you guys had a lot of energy and stuff happen around. That doesn't surprise me a bit.
Oh my God, it was so awesome. And then, but the guy that I was talking about earlier that I met at Phantom Fest was so interesting because his table was right across from ours. And his name's Jason McLeod. He's going to be at Marshall, which that's who I was trying to talk to you about. This guy's so cool. And then I look on the new banner and I'm like, dude, he's already on there. But his book Dark Siege, he's worked with Ed and Lorraine Warren for like the last 25 years, and that alone is a conversation I would like to sit and have, because those are two people that interest the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Watching the movie The Conjuring, he said that if you think The Conjuring was scary, you should read his book Dark Siege. And the things that he has to say are just so interesting that I can't wait to hear him speak in Marshall. I hope to God I get away from my table long enough to sneak in there and listen to him. But Marshall's going to be incredibly cool because we're going to have good energy there. We're going to be having a great time, because we always do. And being somewhere new, it just pumps me up. So I'll be like on a major high just when I
and
get ready to go investigate.
The city of Marshall, the Arts Center specifically, they've made some improvements from, if you were there last year, they've made some serious improvements as far as we heard last year, because it's in an old warehouse, so it has those big square multiple pane windows. Well, they've got a bunch of those blocked off, so it's not this huge blinding room you're sitting in anymore. It's actually where they could have they actually have two video screens. We haven't decided yet whether we're going to use them or not, but they can have like loops playing on the video screens the whole time we're there. I mean, it's a really, really, really nice setup.
Cool.
And hell, there may even be activity in the Arts Center for all we know.
I don't doubt that. And the Minger, that was the weirdest feeling. That was the coolest hotel from back in that era that they have kept pretty much everything original.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always believed in reincarnation, or coming back again and again or whatever. And when I walked in that place, I've always, from a little kid on, had prophetic dreams, and then like they would happen, and it would almost be, sometimes they were just as mild as like a deja vu type thing, and others would be very bad, like a tragedy that I couldn't actually pinpoint when it was going to happen. But with that at the Minger, I walked in that place and the music playing and everything, it was almost like, man, I know I have never in my this life been here before, but it felt like I had been there before. It was just almost a creepy feeling. But then again, it felt like I was home. The music was like the 30s, and everything was like so entirely pristine and kept so in that era that it felt like you almost stepped back into time.
Yeah.
And of course that was way before my time, but maybe it wasn't. I always keep that option open, but I'm looking extremely forward to testing out the waters at that mansion for sure. And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of, how family secrets are. What is that show, Behind Mansion Walls?
Oh yeah. Well, and like my darling wife just mentioned in the chat room, we're going to have Mary Gasparo there from Pennsylvania. Mary's an animal communicator, so there's going to be people that are going to be able to talk to her and get answers to why their animals are acting the way they do, or think that's something that nobody else has been able to offer to people. And we're also going to have Geraldine Sutton Stiff, who's the author of Alien Legacy, and her family was actually involved in the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter. She's going to be there to speak. So we've got a really wide range of people that are coming to speak.
And I like that, and we're also working on the Texas Para-Unity third annual for March of 2014, and we've been working our tail off, and we finally got everything kind of secure enough to where we can now say the Ghost Hunter store, thank you, Dave, has sponsored, is the key sponsor for Para-Unity. And it's going to be held in Glen Rose this year at the Expo Center. And it's going to be awesome. We've got vendor tables still open. They're extremely affordable. And it all goes to the profits that we have after everything we pay for, of course. All the profits go to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. And we gotta save the twins, you know what I'm saying?
Everybody loves boobs.
Yeah, we gotta save the boobs. And so we're gonna really make that a pretty awesome event. So Ghost Hunter Store is the key sponsor, and then DNS Live, and then PIN, and Dead Air Paranormal. And I always forget these guys, but my own team, Fear, is also a small sponsor for it. And, we really want to make it amazing this year. Keep building those numbers up. I know the first year that Becca threw the Para-Unity, it was rainy and nasty, and I think she said she may have had 70 people come. And then the second annual was a lot better. It was like 130 to 150. So we're going to shoot for 200 this year. And I think we can do it. We have Dakota. Jason McLeod will be there. Ken Gerhardt, Larry Flaxman. There's just so many that are going to be extremely interesting to hear. Because I was at Phantom Fest, but I was so bippity boppity all over the place with my ADD and meeting all these cool people. I met Wednesday from family, Adam's family and Cousin It, and I was just kind of starstruck a little bit, and I was just bebopping. But I want to hear Ken Gerhardt, and I want to hear the guys that I missed.
Yeah. Well, when it
so
comes to
maybe one of these times I'll get to.
Well, when it comes to the Para-Unity too, the other thing we need to throw out to all the paranormal groups and everybody that'll see this show in archive, everybody talks about Paranormal Unity. Stop talking about it. Start doing something about it. Show up, help out.
That's right.
Talk. If you're going to talk the talk about unity, walk the walk about it too.
That's right, because Fear is majorly about Para-Unity. I mean, we work with. I work with TGG. My friend Annette has a great group called Texas Ghostly Gatherings, and there's over 300 investigators, and they're kind of freelance. Sometimes they'll go with, a team that they have or that whatever, and sometimes they'll just want to go and mix it up a bit and kind of learn something from other people. And that's Para-Unity is about throwing yourself in there and helping out, donating your time, volunteering. Not this crap between each team about this, that, and the other. It needs to stop. I mean, we're all going for the same thing, answers to questions that we all have, and there's no competition I don't see in that. I see that we have one goal and that we're all going for that one goal, so let's share and, try to teach each other on how to get to those answers. And I'm real big with Fear about that. We do a heck of a lot of Para-Unity. We work with DNS all the time. We work with TGG. I work with Everyday Paranormal. I mean, we just kind of mix it up, and I like to do that. I don't like these teams that, well, no, we can't, go and investigate with them. We can't do this and we can't do that. I don't like that at all. I think it's all about you go and you learn something from a different person every time, and I like it because it's all about learning. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the show and thank my sponsors and kind of give a shout out to a couple of people. Last night, my good friends Wendy and Wes at Flanagan's Party Barn were kind enough to have throw me actually a DVD release party for Shadows on 66. Here it is. You can get your copy. You can either email me or you can get it on shadowsofsixty66.com. And it went rather well, and they did it out of the kindness of their heart, and I wanted to extend my thanks to them. They are one of my sponsors, along with my brother Tony down there in Waco with Syntex Roof Systems, and my friend at Shamrock Pest Control, Sean. I wanted to thank you so much for your support. You've always been there supporting me from the very beginning of me founding Fear, and you've supported me in everything I've done, and I appreciate that. And again, my friend Barry Harger with Saba, and he sells Ace weight control along with a lot of other good products. You need to look him up on Facebook. Um, you can look us up on Facebook. We have a show page, or I have a show page, Close to Death by Selena Roan. And go and like the page and keep up with who's coming on. I've got another Facebook page. It's my para page. Just look it up. It's Para Bud. Like that page. Check it out. We've got a lot of things going on. Fear Paranormal. And you can also, like I said, get your copy of Shadows on 66. It's me, Chip Coffee, Brad and Barry Kling. So if you can, as Chip always says, try to wrap your head around Chip Coffee, me, and the Kling brothers all in a hoe house. I mean, wrap your mind around that. And I want to also thank my friend Heather for coming on and sharing her stories. She's had pretty rough luck, and I feel for her tonight. And I want to say a prayer for her and dealing with the loss of her dog. And I hope you guys join me next Sunday. And I will be announcing the guest in the week. And I will see y'all next week. Thanks a lot for joining. Peace out. Hey everybody, it's Selena Roan. I'm the founder of Fear Paranormal. I'm also on Fear the Freak, which was just about 2 hours ago. This show is new to PEN, and I'm really proud and honored to be part of the PEN network. The show is kind of a little wide range of close to death, like anything with near-death experiences, maybe like what happened to me. I had to take care of my best friend on his last month of his life, things like that, watching death happen, or even paranormally, anything that you've dealt with near-death experience or the other side. Tonight's guest I have is a friend of mine from back in high school, so I'm not going to age either one of us. Let's just say it's been a long time since I've seen her, and she's been through an awful, awful lot. And I was like, wow, I think you take the cake on the number of near-death experiences or crazy things that have happened in your life. And her name is Heather Deering Salberg, and I would like to welcome her to the show. How you doing tonight, Heather?
I'm hanging in there.
Hanging in there. I know you're having a little rough night, and I'm praying for your dog. I'm sorry to hear that, and I hate that it's tonight. But I was talking with you in private messages, and man, I tell you, you've had a really rough time. So why don't you tell us about the first near-death experience that you had back in, what was it, 97?
Okay, that would be when I severed my arm.
Yeah, that doesn't sound pleasant.
Yeah. It was a bad situation. I was arguing with my husband pretty bad, and I let temper get me. I went through a window. He shut the window as I tried to be mean and hit him. And next thing I knew, I had a 16th of an inch from my main artery in my right arm. Completely severed and lost my median nerve. I sat there in the emergency room for an hour and a half, bleeding and holding that with glass and shards all in there, and just holding it as much as I could with like a tourniquet and hoping I didn't bleed out.
Wow.
16th of an inch. It was very scary.
Wow. That's crazy. And then you had a couple of other ones. Why don't you tell us about those? I know you had like another one in '02 and then another one in '06. Your even numbers are not good for you in the years. I'm telling you. The 97 one was off, but then everything else was like every couple of years you were having some difficult experiences.
Yeah, it was either a crazy situation or close to something really bad. In 2002, I was working in Ovilla, Texas, and I was helping the guys install 8-inch water pipe. And one of the guys was messing around using the boom of the backhoe bucket to push himself up over a pile of rock and slipped with the controls and
Uh-oh.
See if it comes back. We might not have lost her. Maybe we did.
Right-row. Well, to finish that, I think we might have lost her. I don't know.